much nicer than the Golf. Sounds like a real engine.
Yeah. Hello everybody, welcome to 27. So today I'm here with Fergus and we're looking at a segment of, is the Golf R really the car that I should always have bought rather than the M135i? So I'm going to take it out for a spin, see how it drives, see what I think about it, and just have a general look around, look inside and so on. Fergus has never driven an M135i. He's a dyed-in-the-wool R owner, more or less. And so it's going to be interesting as well to see what he thinks. So we'll both take the cars out and see what our verdict is. Quick. It doesn't have the mid-range punch of the BMW. Yeah. It pulls nicely though. Yeah. Feels like you just have to rev it a bit more than the Beamer, but that's nice because most turbocharged engines, you know, you get that wodge of torque and then they don't do very much.
It's slow for the next little section, and then you've got this beautiful rendition of the corkscrew from Laguna Seca that you're about to come into now.
Yeah, I can see what you mean about those. It does feel like a half-baked fart, doesn't it? Not much more than that.
Which I think maybe just there to remind you that you didn't opt the titanium exhaust. You farting at you now because you didn't pay us the money.
The engine feels, even though this is a dual clutch, so it should feel more connected. To me, it just feels more disconnected to the car than on the BMW. I don't know if it's maybe because of the four-wheel drive system.
It could be that, but also, I mean, it really does, and this is in race mode, it really does feel like that in standard driving mode. You kind of have to be in standard driving mode.
I mean, it is, the gear change is instant.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's pretty quick on the Beamer as well, but it does feel like on this it's even quicker. It is instant. That does feel good. In terms of the interior, I really like that display. I think that's really, in terms of wow factor, that's amazing. Yeah. And also, like all, you know, VWs, it's really nicely resolved. This is really nice as well.
Yeah.
And you say all this is standard on an R, okay. Yeah. So whereas with
there's lots of fun to be having here and the next corner as well. You can keep on, because as you go over the top, it comes down to the right. That's why this is such a balance run.
I can see what you mean about those little farts. They are ridiculous. So you were saying interior, I do really like this, and it's typical VW, and it's got some really nice bits that mine doesn't, and it's got a lot more standard equipment as well.
Yeah. Like everything with these things, you've got the things that make life much easier, and they're just so good on this. So the air conditioning split zone, you've got 3 levels of heated seats, you've got just ways of making it a very pleasant place to be. Occasional bit of leather here and there, but I mean, you know,
welcome. And obviously in terms of boot space, we saw earlier that unsurprisingly, being a wagon and stuff, this does pretty much trump. Yeah. In terms of jack space, you know, you could probably get 2 jacks in the back of this, whereas on BMW it's
you'd have to
it's a cramped,
to get you in there.
It makes a nice noise. It doesn't make an exceptional noise. The Beamer, I think you will probably agree, although disappointingly it does have some synthesized help apparently. It does. But I think it sounds nice. Maybe I'm just too much of a pleb to work it out. You know, I'm no Chris Harris, who incidentally I used to go to university with.
Oh really?
Yeah, we both did an internship at Autocar. During uni, and he basically turned out to get like the ideal lifestyle, and I didn't. So right, let's get back to the cars. And what was I going to say? Yeah, they do feel quite different, but in a way, I don't know. This is where I pretend to have any sort of level of analysis, which I really don't. But I thought it'd be a lot sharper than the Beamer, and actually.
It feels to me like the natural progression of the GTI. It doesn't feel like mode. No. You know, I don't know how slow then.
And steering wise, I don't know. it feels pretty much the same. So not much feel, like all the modern stuff. It's pretty inert.
Yeah.
Maybe the BMW one gives you back it's just a little bit more, just because it hasn't got the four-wheel drive to contend with. But but they don't feel much different. This is probably heavier, slightly heavier, but not in a wow, heavier and you're getting more feel. It feels a bit more natural, but not a lot comes through.
Nothing comes through really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna understeer if you really bully it. I've managed to get it to lose grip, but it has to be quite cold. You have to have quite poor conditions, and you have to be a bit of an idiot.
Yeah.
And you can get it to dance about.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice straight away. That is much nicer than the Golf. Sounds like a real engine.
Yeah. In terms of sound, I agree with you.
Yeah.
The Golf has aggression,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound nice.
I think the suspension on this is vastly superior to the Golf in terms of the
you?
ride. Yeah. It's just so much smoother. The
In
suspension.
terms of ride, yeah, but I'm interested to see what you think about how it holds it all together.
I don't like the brakes as much, I have to say, but it feels like there's more to this car than the Golf. Like there's more for it to deal with. Yeah.
Feels like you can have a bit more fun with it, can't you? And it like encourages you to chuck it about.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
friendly. What do you think about pace? Does it feel quicker? Does it feel the same?
It feels different.
The engine to me feels a bit more responsive. So like it's more, unless you're obviously completely on it with the Golf, like it's a bit more hesitant. You can feel more lag in the Golf. Like,
Yeah, there's definitely. But the grip round corners feels to me like that has the edge there, and that's the four-wheel drive, I suppose.
the edge on this?
Yeah.
I think it probably does. This is, and also, especially if you're putting your foot down round the corner, as you'll see, I mean, the back end is lively. It feels like a meteor car, though,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
meteor, that is a good word for this actually. And the Golf feels a lot more, tofu?
I don't know, it's I think it's probably a bit more agile than this is, in a way.
Yeah, that seems fair.
They both have steerings which are pretty numb, in my view.
Yeah.
And the engine on the Golf is pretty forgettable. It's got pace, it's got a lot of power, but it's pretty forgettable. It feels like a more mature car to me, and it feels like the interior is just a bit more grown up.
Yeah.
The Golf has some nice flashy touches, but this feels a bit more solid all round, a bit older.
Yeah.
As a car.
A bit more mature.
Just a little bit more grown up.
Yeah.
Almost a level above. What do you think about the gearbox, and try the pedals as well?
It's quite quick, isn't it? In terms of in changing.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not as quick as the Golf.
Yeah. So I think the Golf is just a little bit snappier.
It seems more switched on. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This.
I was literally just about to say it looks like you're having fun in this. I can feel it, that you're really liking it. It's more playful than the Golf.
Yeah, it is. That's a great car. It is a great car.
You like it, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely superb for getting on with it. Yeah, now the Golf, sometimes when you're doing these kinds of things, will get air.
Yeah.
So this, you're right, the meatiness of this car does seem to keep it more planted. But the steering I'm less happy with on this, I think, because it just, even in this mode, it just feels like I'm not that sure where
You're
I'm
not
at.
fully connected. Well, it has a variable rate system. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas the Golf, I think, doesn't, does it?
No, it doesn't. The Golf is, and again, it's inert. You don't actually know what's going on, but I think I can feel more, or have more information in the Golf than I do here. Yeah, and that's, and those brakes are not quite up to the Golf's. Yeah, that's great. thing though, isn't it?
It's nice. You don't have to be going that fast coming out of the corner,
no.
and you can feel that you're losing traction, so it's just nice. But if it had a limited slip diff, you could really keep that going.
Yeah.
Whereas you just get a bit, and then it kind of just stops your flow.
It feels, you know, much more grown up, much more like BMWs. You remember Dad had a big, like when somebody's dad had a 5 Series, you got to go in the back of it.
Like that, doesn't it? It feels like a big car.
Yeah, you know, and it is roadkill season. That's the other thing about pressing on at this time of year.
Yeah.
Not only pheasants and a lot of badgers, but men in lycra. That's the one.
They're
really
worth extra points.
Yeah, 200 points in Death Race 2000.
I thought I was worried actually that I'd come into this thinking I really should have got the Golf because it is the more practical car and it just makes more sense and all the rest of it. But ultimately, I have to say I'm actually quite glad that I did get this. It's just for a hatch, and it just feels a little bit more special. The Golf is just very, very good.
Yeah.
But to me, this feels more special and a bit more interesting.
Yeah, I would say that the Golf, I would agree with you there. The Golf seems to be extremely competent, and that's very good.
Yeah.
But they're, you know, lifting it just a bit further than that, just very good, into something that's got a bit of personality or a bit of something about it. This definitely has that. It has some flaws, as I'd say. I don't like the brakes as much, and I think the steering's a bit more vague. Yeah. But just the way that it goes down the road, the level of excitement you could put into it, a bit of dancing about the back end, you know, that never hurts. Well, that's not entirely true. Sometimes it hurts, but actually it never hurts to have some form of kind of playfulness or some form of excitement or something that's a bit more to enjoy just for the sake of enjoying it. Whereas like with the Golf, I feel there's lots of stuff it does very well, but you do feel like it's just it's a switch. There's a very German thing, isn't there, about like, let's make this as efficient as possible. Yeah. This is the box in which it's going to tick. We have ticked exactly that box. It does that. Yeah. And you will go very fast now. You will stop very fast now, and that's it. There's no kind of getting there. There's nothing. There's no element of the journey towards that. Whereas this certainly does have the feeling that somebody got in here and went, no, I want it to be more fun, or there was a person involved in building this rather than some spreadsheets. Okay, cool. Thanks very much, Fergus.
It was really good fun. Glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, and thanks for letting me drive yours. Right. Let's. Least I forget. Thank you all very much for watching. Please subscribe. Please go on to my Instagram. I'll put a little link here. And I'll see you for the next video. Thank you.